years, and a lot of my job working with different companies is to do color analysis, color trends. This year I haven't traveled, but last year I traveled uh, 2 places a month. So I'd go to Morocco and India and Turkey and other places to weave fabric and be inspired. So I thought it'd be fun to just really share with you my stories, because these are all my stories. A lot of these are my pictures. And also too, just to talk about color, because in today's environment right now, color is really important. I mean, we live in a world of neutrals, and that's what sells every day if you do a sales analysis. But honestly, I see a trend towards a lot of different color, and so I just wanted to share that with you guys. I'm really inspired by nature and what it is. And this chameleon is a great example of how color changes within environments. So there's just such a vast spectrum of color, and so I go to nature quite often for my inspiration. We just introduced a new collection, Quantum, and that collection is about mathematics and physics, and how color really in nature, and how color really is inspired by all of those things. One trend that I see going on right now are neutrals are getting warmer. Um, Everyone was really into cool grays for a long time, but because of, again, today's environment, and also I think designers and clients are looking for more cozy, comforting colors. So you'll see that beige is coming back strong instead of stark white. Camel is coming back into play, and also you're going to see a lot of brown instead of black. And I'm excited about that, because my house is warmer colors. I love to live with warm colors, but then also with a little pop of cool in different places. This is our new collection, as you can see. It's really fabulous because it's technology at its best, where we have a quilted polyurethane. We have a new technology which is called Tech Loom, which is fused woven fabrics with the coated film on top, so it's water resistant, and it's really kind of interesting. So hopefully you'll be able to take a look at the collection. Smoky neutrals, one of the things that I'm really looking towards with grays is to have them a little bit more intense and smoky and not so cool, like really a combination of taupe and grays together with black and charcoal. Again, one of the things in this collection that we were able to do is use metallic with some of those colors, which is great, because silver with a charcoal gray really gives it a nice juxtaposition of matte and shiny. These are my inspirations. When I was doing this whole collection around nature, I'm from Michigan, so I was collecting driftwood and Petoskey stones and feathers, and really bringing in dandelion flowers, and really looking at color in nature and how does that inspire us for healthcare, hospitality, corporate, and anything, even education. Blues are probably the biggest sellers in any company, because blue is kind of gender neutral. It also has a soothing effect on you. So one of the things that I loved is these mushrooms that had the brown and the blue together, because that was such an unusual combination with blue. So you'll see in all of our collections, you'll see a wide range of blues, from sky blue to just like blue jay, and also like indigo. So you'll see a lot of different blues. Complex hues. A lot of people ask me, what does that mean? And when I'm traveling through Europe, especially, I see a lot of color that's grayed down. It's not really clean, but it's not dirty either. And complex hues, and the way we use them at Meyer is adding just a little bit of gray to the color, so they become a little bit more muted. In most of our collections, we have a beautiful range of like eucalyptus and fern and blush. So you'll see a lot of those, and they almost become color neutrals. So you'll see a lot of that. But again, in nature especially, you see these kind of chameleon-like colors where it goes blue or blue-green. Jewel tones are coming back. They are, for me, they have more black in them. So you'll see raisin and plum and indigo and colors that have a richness to them, and combined with like this, for example, this metallic, it's pictured with copper. So you'll see these beautiful, rich colors that give a lot of depth to an environment. One of my favorite things about this collection that I haven't been able to pursue too much in other materials is the whole idea of metal. And how do you, I do a lot of research with furniture manufacturers looking at their finishes and their powder coats and laminates. And so bringing metal into some of our fabrics is a really great way to kind of marry all of the materials that are available for your projects. This particular, again, you're seeing that chocolate rich brown with copper, you're seeing camel, and also just this whole idea of like this, again, like the butterfly, a little bit of neutral with these metallics that I think are really lovely. Like I had mentioned in the beginning, I am a traveler. I love traveling. I miss it so much this year. I don't know what to do with myself. I mean, I go from my backyard to my house to town, and that's about it. But one of the things that I find in traveling, like anyone that does travel, there's just just a lushness of cultures, and being able to capture those in my photographs and in my collections. I collect fabric and um, notions and shoes and anything that I can find that will help inspire me through my travels. And one collection in particular that I love that's perfect for hospitality and it's more residentially geared is our Majorelle collection. And this collection's all about plush, luxurious fabrics with a really good price point. When I was at the Majorelle Gardens, which was Yves Saint Laurent had moved there. It was in bad shape, these gardens and these homes, and he came in and bought the property, and it is the most beautiful garden that you'll ever go into. And what's lovely about it is that you have this greenery of cacti and ferns and all these lush plants against these blues and pinks and all these yellows and all these colors. So this collection really is inspired by that visit and how I really felt like through my pictures and through my findings that I could come up with a collection that looks natural and yet it's high performance. These fabrics go 50 to 100,000 double rubs. They are using some novelty yarns, even in some of them a little bit of natural fiber, which again gets a bad rap because people can't think they can clean it, but these are all cleanable and beautiful. In this collection too, the whole idea of using vibrant colors and this whole layering effect. So you're getting natural colors with pops of color. That was important to me to do in this collection. So you'll see that, and these are perfect for, again, any crossover environments that you're working on. And on the flip side, there's a whole palette in this collection of rich and earthy colors, things that are like clay, that are reminiscent of things that are very natural. And even the introduction of some very red-based purples that I saw a lot of when I was there through the rugs and things that, and some of the tile work that I had seen. Romantic and soft, again, these bluish purples that I love. This tile work is from his garden, and I really wanted to capture that, those colors together in the fabric. He used a lot of tile work that had like a little hint of blue in it, so like an aqua color. So again, wanting to capture all of that in these beautiful fabrics. And this is lush and nature inspired. I think every collection has this in their collection, green. And I will tell you that green is becoming more and more important as we move into 2021. Because we want to connect again to our environments even more so than we ever did. And biophilic design has been and will be more important as we return to our offices or as we live in our homes and we want to be surrounded by things that make us feel really good. And green, I see going into a different direction. Yellow greens were very popular for a very long time, and I see these pushing into blue greens, which you'll see in some of my other examples. And I love that green, these like kind of greeny grays are really important as well. They're just very kind of color neutral. And then I am very, as we all are, inspired by fashion and what's going on in fashion. This is actually from Nike, and they're kind of what they're doing with their colors for the next year, which I thought was really interesting. You know, fashion goes hand in glove with interiors. And I see, you know, again, I see a lot of changes going on with fashion colors in particular. As I said before, neutral cell, the whole spectrum of neutral cell. Sometimes I hate doing sales analysis because that's all I see is neutral. I'm like, enough already, enough with the vanilla because I'm done. However, it's neutrals are safe, and neutrals can span from the most beautiful white to beige, you know, to camel to beautiful charcoal. These examples, and it's organic too. And I think one of the things I see pushing forwards is this whole idea of organic colorings, bringing calmness to environments. You know, and then I see the flip side, which is a little bit brighter colors, but you'll see a lot of neutrals regardless. Those will never go away. One of the colors that I see and that I've used a lot, you know, within my work at Meyer is this kind of marigold color. I love yellow, and I love yellow and gray together. I find that yellow is a happy color, and using this kind of topaz marigold color, it's just got a little hint of brown, so it's not so jarring. Again, in our range, I try to build up our color family so that when you're working on a project, if you're working on something that you want a coated fabric for, along with a woven, whether it's a woven that looks plush and luxurious or a woven that's very like Sunbrella, very kind of, it's a little flatter and a little bit more performance oriented, but we are really working on that whole kind of foundation of color, which I think is so important, especially when you're working on a project where you have different places within your project that you need, needs that you have and demands. This is going to be a very popular color moving forward, this kind of bronzy marigold, which again, I love.
It's funny that you mentioned topaz. I know I'm interrupting you, but
No, that's
I'm
okay.
a November baby, and when I was younger, I hated the color topaz, and now I love it. I feel like
It's so
it's a
funny.
more sophisticated. You have to like grow into that color.
Yeah, but it's beautiful in space,
It's yeah,
especially with wood colors and certain things that you have.
yeah.
This is, you know, I love this whole idea of analogous colors, like these colors that are three colors on the spectrum. I do a presentation that's called Color Logic, and I like to talk about the color wheel and how the plays of colors within interiors really works. This is a perfect example of how on the color wheels, those three colors that are very close to each other, which would be orange, red, and yellow, for example. Again, when I'm doing color combinations and color work, I'm always thinking about how those colors interact and play together so that they become harmonious and they become pleasing to the eye. And so you're going to see a lot more of designers looking and thinking about color and how it has, you know, an effect on your psychology and on your visual perception, and also just that it's logic. You know, for me, it's the logic, and the color wheels where I kind of start. I always have started, so I still do that. And then, you know, this year's the color of the year was 2020 Pantone Classic Blue. And one of the things that I like to do with blue, this is one of my favorite patterns, Labyrinth, in our collection. It's a piece, a cross-dyed velvet, which is lovely because the ground is lighter, the velvet top pile is dark, and I love that combination. But I love using different kinds of blues together, like, you know, green blues with blue. The whole idea again of natural colors with blue. And blue is a staple. And again, like black and like brown, blue is classic and will not go away. One of the great stories about Pantone and their color of the year is that they spend the whole year kind of bringing together all their research and information, which I do in my job as well. And then they wait to the very last minute to kind of introduce this color, and everyone's like, wait, what's that color? But you know, it's interesting. They look into everything from electronics to makeup, and you'll see when their color comes out. You see it in everything, in a transportation, everything. So next year, I think one of the colors of next year will probably be either a warm neutral or it's going to be green. Seriously, I think green's going to be our color next year, which I don't mind, but I think it's important to note that we're going into this whole place where we want to be close to nature because of everything that's happened. And these are the greens that I see kind of going on, like going into this direction of blue, green, emerald. Again, in my work that I do for different companies, I'm finding that these greens have this kind of like, again, a chameleon effect where they can go blue green or they can go a green green depending on what you partner it with. And so so I try to, again, within the line, as you, if you have a project, knowing that we do a really nice range of greens and we partner them up with really beautiful neutrals. So if you're looking for anything, just let us know. And that is my presentation on color today. I really thank you for coming to this little presentation. I wanted to keep it kind of curated and focused because I know your time's valuable. I'm going to probably extend this a little bit more at some point, but I want you to kind of get an idea of like where my color inspiration comes from. And it is authentic and it is telling a story. I think we need to tell a story about our fabrics, our patterns, our colors, and who we are. So I feel pretty strong about that, and I wanted to share it. So thank you for coming. I'm glad you guys were here. Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions?
No, I thought I mean, I've definitely seen some of those fabrics.